This video is going to show you where the 2D studio is and what is at the 2D studio. So you have a set of textbooks over here for vocab, and then over here on the side of the white organizer is going to be the poster that shows you what level materials you're going to be working with at this studio. So level 1 is ebony pencils, white erasers, Prismacolors, and shading sticks. Level 2, watercolors and tempera, and that should say or, you're going to do one or the other. Level 3 is 3D pen. Level 4 is going to be paint pens or comic book. So let's start with this, this organizer over here. We have all of the boxes are labeled so that it says 2D level 1, so you know which materials you need to be using for level 1. So for level 1, you'll use both of these boxes, and one box has ebony pencils, white erasers, pencil sharpeners, and shading sticks. And then in the other box, we have colored pencils with also colored pencil sharpeners in there as well. So those are going to be for level 1, and those will go back on the top there when you're done cleaning up for the day. Level 1 drawing paper, and it will say here, it says 1 per person for the project only. So if you want to do your project for the 2D station, this is the paper that you will use. And if you want it to be a little smaller, we can cut that down to a different size. Your sketch paper for anything that you do at this studio is always going to be the manila paper. And this is always going to be right here in this spot right there. Watercolor experiment paper is located here. It says 1 per person. Make sure you're only taking 1. Watercolor paper for project only, 1 per person for level 2. And then we have tempera. This is for level 2 with the tempera paint. So we have watercolor, tempera paint. And then we have level 3 3D pens in here, and then level 4 containers at the bottom for if you get to that level. The other thing on the side of this organizer are color wheels for you to use depending upon when you get to coloring with the colored pencils, if you want to look at different color theories, or when you get to the painting, you will for sure want to use the color wheels. Watercolor supplies and paint supplies, tempera supplies for level 2 are located in these bins. They're divided out by supplies so that all of the watercolor supplies are in here. You will notice that these are watercolor brushes. These are not to be used with the tempera brushes over here and the tempera paint. The tempera paint bucket has all of the paint brushes that you will only want to use for the tempera paint. And I labeled them too, so that it says tempera brushes on there as well. And then there are always pictures showing you what those tubs should look like, so that at the end of the class period, this is how they should be put away for cleanup, so that we know you did a good job with cleanup that day. On the side of the tempera paint bin, we have different mixing trays, and this is what you would use to mix paint on your tray here, and this would also be cleaned at the end of the class period. On this corner, we have all the paint that you would need for this station, and then paint cups are in the bin right behind it with paint lids. At this station as well, we have the table organizer that you'll have at all of your studios with markers, for rulers, for scissors, and for triangle rulers, and then for glue sticks. This will always be at your studio. The sinks back here are going to be for your use when you need to clean paint at the studio. And those will always be available to you. They're right next to your studio. And then anything that's wet is going to be put on these drying racks, and they are divided out by class period so that you can kind of remember and hopefully find those a little bit better. And that is what is at the 2D station. The last thing to mention with experimenting is this box down here is full of paper that you may be interested in experimenting with. It's just a ton of different kinds of paper. If you're interested in using them, I can cut them down for you to experiment with your different materials.